So we had talked about this a little bit on Wednesday, hypothesizing and speculating about a possible Max Holloway versus Tony Ferguson fight. Okay, just to remind you guys where this came from. Max Holloway defends his championship successful on Saturday, and the narrative of him having weight issues at 145 just won't go away, and they start talking about him needing to go up to 155 pounds. As soon as that gets discussed, that Max could be going to 155 pounds, Tony Ferguson decides to call him out, welcome to the division. Well, then Dana weighs in on it. It's like, I love it. So, of course, all of us fans love it. What an incredible contest. Of course, we love it. But I think there's something much bigger there. And the young fighters need to make sure you pay attention to this. And I know a lot of young fighters listen to this show. Guys, don't ever think you know everything about mixed martial arts. One thing you need to know about the business of MMA is the business of MMA changes, and it goes through waves. And we are in a wave right now. And if there's any message to come out about Tony Ferguson calling out Max responding to Tony and letting him know he's down, and Dana weighing in and saying, love it. If there's any message there that you guys had better be picking up on, it is that right now in the world of MMA, it is very hard to make fights. For whatever reason, it is very hard to get fights done in the time you need to get them done. With the resources that you have, with all the moving parts, with the fact that there is, between the organizations, close to 100 events scheduled for the calendar year of 2019 alone. In a 52-week calendar year, there's going to be close to 100 events. And it is very hard for promoters and organizers to get matches done and get athletes on board. It frustrates me. It is not the way it used to be. Guys used to be begging for these opportunities, but now, apparently we're in a different spot. But lesson to be learned here. When two guys can make their own fight, they're going to get that fight. That is exactly what happened here. Tony Ferguson heard that Max could be coming up. Took a shot at Max. Max found out he had a shot taken him, fired back. Promoter comes in, says, I love it. Boom. You better be picking up on the message there. Don't think that's just because that's Ferguson and Max. That is a lesson that will go around. If you can bring the promoter something, if you can do his job for him, he's got matchmakers, he's trying to get stuff to, if you can go out and make that match yourself, do it in the media, get the people behind it, boom, drop it in his lap, you're going to get that fight. You're going to get those kinds of fights. We're seeing that as soon as tomorrow with Kevin Lee and Ally Aquina that worked this out on their own and got the stamp of, I love it, behind it. Major opportunity here. There's a major opportunity and there's a major way to navigate this sport right now. When you see other guys pushing back and resisting and not wanting to go along and losing the mindset and losing the hunger that they had when they were young kids laying in bed dreaming of fighting on television. And all of a sudden they get those contracts, and all of a sudden, for whatever reason, they just don't want to do it anymore. All of a sudden it is no longer a I hope to, I pray to, I wish to, I get to situation. It becomes a I have to situation. I can't relate to that. I don't fully understand that, but I know that I am observing that. When you see that and you think, okay, this is the new way to play the game. Everybody else is pushing back and everybody else is resisting. I guess that's what I'm going to do too. You're missing the boat that there becomes an opportunity to go to the other side of the pool. Which right now is the side of, I'm going to go out and I'm going to find my own fights. I'm going to find guys that move me up the ladder. I'm going to find guys that I have personal conflicts with. I'm going to find guys that I have personal opportunities with. I'm going to find guys that fans want to say, whatever it is, all good answers. If you get one of those pieces, you're in business. If you can get two or three of those pieces, you're in good business. If you can get all of those pieces, you've had a home run. You don't need all of the pieces. All the pieces come along. That's once every couple of years. You get all those pieces. If you have one of those reasons, a personal conflict, an opportunity, somebody who's ranked higher, somebody who you think you can get a name off of, any one of those opportunities, or a fight that the fans want to see because there's something compelling there, you are in business. So as you're seeing, I just watched the waves of MMA. And I watch guys go through it, and I watch the domino effect. I watch the other guys come on board. I watch them get led around like sheep, and it becomes frustrating. Guys, I can remember a year ago. Do you guys remember the money talk era we went through? A money fight era? Every time you wanted to have a fighter, what fight do you want? I want the money fight. Remember that was a thing? Some prick created the term money fight, and all the other fighters thought it was like a catchy phrase. So all the other fighters started saying it. You couldn't get anything done. You couldn't get an interview done. You couldn't get a promo cut. You couldn't get any anticipation done. You couldn't get any business done because all guys would say is the money fight. I want the money fight. I want the money fight. Remember when we had that? It lasted for like 6 months. It was infuriating. It was uncompelling. It was uninteresting. It was a turnoff to the consumer who is the fan. It was a very frustrating phase. Now we're going through some phase where everybody needs to dig in and they need to talk to their teams and they need to negotiate and then renegotiate. They got to get a phone call back. I got to fly out and sit down with you. It's just really tough. So if you see those kinds of opportunities and you can come in on the other side of it, you can be alone and you can get opportunity. I don't know if Max and Tony are going to fight. I don't know. But what I do know for sure is if Max and Tony want to fight, we're going to get that fight. I think Tony has to look at the situation and go, what are my other options? Right now, the current champion who I'm supposed to be in there with, named Khabib Nurmagomedov, does not have a license to fight. And while I do suspect and will even predict for you guys that that's going to change in a hurry, he doesn't have a license to fight. You cannot book a fight with Khabib Nurmagomedov right now. So what does Tony Ferguson want to do, who's already been sitting out for 2 months? Been sitting out since October 6th. Does he want to continue to sit out? Continue to wait for that fight? Or does he want to take on a sitting, reigning world champion that's moving in his division? Interesting spot. Interesting fight. Compelling match. If Max is going to come, we're going to put Max. Are you going to put him in a title fight? That'd be great. Champion versus champion. We love it. Been great business. Again, gentleman in that spot is without a license. So can Max wait? Can he fight at 140? I mean, he's got a few options. I don't propose to offer you guys the answer to this question. I'm just saying, if you do look at it, if you were objective, if you were in both of those guys' spots, and if Max is going to move to 155 pounds, it sounds like he could be tight in Tony Ferguson. If they want to fight each other, they're going to be fighting, and there's major opportunity here.